A great way to get sounds to be more present in the mix is with a nice high-end shelf boost. However, sometimes boosting with a high-end shelf can add kind of unwanted hissing and really, really high frequency content. So it's always important to accompany any sort of high shelf boost with a cut up at the top. Now, let me show you what I mean by applying a high boost to a sound in the mix here that I feel like needs a little bit more energy. So we have this lead sound here in the breakdown of this track. So I really feel like that sound, since there's not a lot of high-end information going on in the mix, especially in this section, can definitely use some high-end shelving to bring it out. So when I actually have my default EQ in Ableton set to have already a low pass in it as well as a high pass, but for this sound, since it's all just high information, this cut isn't really doing anything. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of find a sweet spot of where I can boost this sound in order to get that sort of high-end presence that we're looking for. So right here sounds pretty nice. Again, this is a very subtle thing, but these are the little details at the end of the process that really make all your sounds sound really good and tight. So about a boost at around 3.7 is kind of nice for this sound. However, doing so, it's adding a lot of air in the much higher frequencies that I'm not really enjoying, that I feel like is kind of just sounds a little artificial. So the first thing I'm going to do after this is I'm just going to apply a cut in order to actually remove all of that stuff that I boosted up here. So you can hear the simultaneous effect of boosting upper frequencies with the shelf while cutting. This sort of shape up here is a really nice, pleasant shape for a lot of sounds because it gives the perceived, the higher frequencies a lot more room in the mix, and it makes them be able to be perceived much clearer, but you're not overdoing it and adding a bunch of like air and noise to the sound that kind of clutters up the mix. So pretty much whenever I'm using a high shelf, I'm also accompanying that with some sort of cut like this in order to just make sure I'm very specifically boosting the frequencies that I want to boost. So again, just kind of A/B this sound and focusing on this sound. We can actually hear it once soloed, so we can hear the effect. So especially just on that first little hit, you really hear the nice sparkle and sizzle of the top end coming through. So in the mix one more time, just to kind of hear this effect. So I'll start with it off and then I'll turn it on. So yeah, popping through much more present, and it just feels a lot brighter and more energetic.